How's it going, everyone? Hopper here with another game repair. Tonight I'm going to show you how to change a laser in a PS2 FAT. Now I like these a lot better because they're a little hardier than those slims. So I try and keep these up and running as often as I can. If I can fix them, I'll fix them, get them back out there playing. What's nice about the PS2 is you can play your PS1s and PS2s on it, on the system. What we're going to need is a couple Phillips screwdrivers, a small Phillips screwdriver, and a Torx, small Torx, and a little flathead. We will also need some solder wick and solder paste. And last but not least, a new laser. This is a brand new laser, as you can see. Now mainly you need to change these lasers if your system stops reading games, or if you're only reading clear games and not the blue games and not the black ones, the PS1s, or the DVDs won't play in it. So, you know, if you're having problems with you put the disc in and nothing happens, it just stays on the home page, it's most likely you need to change your laser. So with that, we'll jump downstairs and I'll show you how it's done. Alright, you can see I have turned it over. There's one more thing that you're going to need that I almost forgot to tell you, is you're going to need a soldering gun. Soldering gun, soldering station, whatever. Now there's 8 screws. There's here, 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 and 2 here, here, and here. Take your little screwdriver and you can get under these little clips and take them right off, along with the rubber feet. Take the rubber feet off. There's a screw under each one of those rubber feet. 2 more plugs here, here, and 1 more rubber foot. As you can see, I'm missing 1 rubber foot up there in the corner. So you need to take those screws out, take your Phillips, and you can take your screws right out. Now if your PS2 has never been opened before, there will be a warranty sticker on the back that you will need to cut with a razor blade or your knife, and that is right here. You can see it's already been cut. Okay, now what you do is just lift up from the back to get it pulled forward a little bit. And there's, now you got the top off of it. Just for kicks, this is the model SCPH-50001. These ones are a little easier because they don't, your on-off button isn't attached inside the lid. Now you will need your little screwdriver, your little Phillips, and there's 2 screws to take off here. Take the 2 screws out here and here. And there's 2 clips holding this down. Just give them a little, stick your little pry tool right down in there, and there she is. And as you can see, this one's pretty filthy inside. And let me get this one cleaned up a little bit before we go any further. Okay, I got some of them clods out of there. I don't know what that was. I just didn't want it falling down into the drive. On the 5001, you will need your cord, so you can plug it in. As you can hear, get that tray open and then shut it off. That way you can pull the tray completely off. Now on here, on this little guy, what we will do, let me see if I can get you back here real good. Okay, there's 2 clips holding this metal retainer down. There's one here and one here. What you do is just kind of stick your, let me get this turned so maybe we can see a little bit better. Yeah, there's a clip here and here. What you do is just take your little screwdriver, go down inside and pull it back a little bit and pull up. Same with this side. Push in and that little retainer will come up off of there. Now your guideposts, you only really need to take one off, and that's the one here that's holding the laser in place. So just lift him up a little bit. You can pull the guidepost out, slide the clip here off of that guidepost, and flip her over. Now we'll take the ribbon cable off. There's 2 little tabs. There's a tab here and a tab here on either side of the connection. Take your little screwdriver and just pull it out a little bit, and it will release the cable. Like so. You can see that little clip. There's a little tab on either side. You can just pull it out a little bit and it'll release it. Now we'll slide him up out of the way. Now we have the old laser. We will need to remove the guide, with your little Phillips. And I noticed on the new laser that you're also going to have to take this little screw right here. That's what keeps it adjusted in place on the guidepost. Take your Torx and count how many turns in. Half, 1 1/2, 1 3/4. 1 3/4 from tight. And that's your old laser. Okay, we'll take our Got our new laser. She looks good. No damage in shipping. We'll put our little screw back all the way down till it's tight and go out half, 1, 1.5, 1 3/4. Now what I suggest you do when you have this off is clean all the dirt off of that. That will cause that little, this is what runs your laser back and forth on the rails, and they get kind of built up. You get a lot of dust and dirt build up on those, and they don't want to put it back together. Put that little okay. Now here's where the soldering gun and everything comes in. There's an anti-static point for shipping on these. Here's your ribbon cable connection. You can see this little blob of solder right there. That has to be removed. That's for shipping purposes, so you don't get static buildup and blow the laser even before you get it. You get a lot of static in these and they'll fry. And so I'll take our wick, dip it in some solder paste, get our soldering gun or soldering station, whatever you have available. Stick that right on there. And voila. Let me just make sure I got it all off of there. And there she is, all cleaned up. And I'll show you. Come on, camera, focus. As you can see, right there, she's all cleaned up, ready to put together. Okay, we'll start reassembling this as soon as I get my bench cleaned up and I can get everything moved back. Okay, I got everything all squared away here. Now we can get back to this. Now we'll start by putting a ribbon cable back in. Make sure that it's ready to receive it. Now you can just take him, slide him up in there as far as you can, and then snap those little, push those little tabs back on either side, and she's insecure. Not insecure, but it is secured. Now we'll start, and we'll put the guide post back in. We'll slide the laser over onto the other one and snap her right down in there. Take your little clip, Now these clips can be a little tricky at times because this piece right here, right through there, will only fit in one way, and it has to be centered. You can see that there's a pin sticking up right there. There's a pin sticking right there, and it has to line up with this hole. And once it's lined up and in place, you can just push those clips right down in, and your laser's in secured. Moves freely. And now we're ready for the tray. As you can see, I cleaned that tray up. That thing was pretty nasty looking. Now when you're putting the tray back in, you can see this little pin. That little pin right there has to line up and go in this groove here. That's what pulls your deck up and down for reading. What I like to do is just push it over with your finger and slide her back into place. Now we're ready for our top cover of the drive, which is right here. Put him right down. And she's ready. Put your 2 screws back in. Normally, before I put the cover back on it, I like to make sure that that drive is working in and out. You can even put a game in it and make sure that everything is good. Tray goes in and out freely. I don't hear any clicking and whining out of the laser, so I don't like letting them run very long without being hooked up to a TV. But you can flip them on and get what you need to get done pretty quick. Now you're ready for your top cover. Start in the front, get it lined up, and just push it down on, and she's ready to be reassembled with all the screws. On the 5000s, the silver screw always goes up to the get out of there. Goes up where the on-off button is. Your long screws will be the 4 that hold the drive in place. The little black ones will be in these 3 corners. Like I said, you can see the silver screw always goes up to where, always goes in where the on-off button is, because it's a little longer than the black ones. Now when I'm putting screws back into plastic, I always like to go back until I hear it click and jump a little bit, and then you know it's lined up right in those existing threads in the plastic, and she'll go right down in. You're not trying to cut new threads into the plastic. You do that a couple of times, and next thing you know, you're no longer able to hold the case together because you just stripped out the plastic. Now just take these little plugs and put your plugs back in. Get the two out here on this little wing. Put your rubber feet back in. And then, like I said, this one's missing one. I'll have to round up one for this unit, and now you have your PS2 like new again. Yeah, I know you can see my little tablet over there. Well, that's how I can tell. I can see what the hell I'm doing. And with that, you have your PlayStation 2 and you're ready to start playing again. So thanks for watching, and have fun with your PS2. And remember, don't throw it out. Let's fix it together.